So what really makes a golden age? For ancient India, one period just seems to stand out above all the rest: the Gupta Empire. Today, we're going to explore the legendary rulers, the vast conquests, and the incredible scientific and artistic achievements that earned this era its glittering reputation.
But before we get into all of that, let's just pause on that question for a second. Is a golden age all about military might? Is it about everyone being prosperous? Or is it something else, like an explosion of culture and new ideas? It's a question we're going to keep in mind as we explore the rise and fall of this incredible empire.
And for ancient India, the Gupta Empire is pretty much the textbook example of such an age. Thanks to its immense contributions to literature, science, art, architecture, you name it. So how did this powerhouse dynasty even get its start?
Well, the Guptas didn't just burst onto the scene out of nowhere, conquering everything in sight. Nope. Their origins were actually pretty modest. Historical accounts tell us they likely began as feudatories, subordinate rulers who served the powerful Kushan Empire. The dynasty was founded by a ruler named Sri Gupta, and he was followed by his son Ghatojkach. Now, both of these guys held the title Maharaja, which means great king. It's respectable for sure, but it's not an imperial title. The ruler who would change all of that, and really the course of Indian history, was next in line.
The real architect of the empire was Chandragupta I, and he signaled a huge shift in ambition by taking on a much grander title, Maharaja di Raja, the king of great kings. His masterstroke, though, was a brilliant strategic marriage to Kumara Devi, a princess from the very powerful Lichavi clan. This alliance just skyrocketed the Gupta's status, a fact he proudly stamped right onto the money itself, issuing coins that featured both him and his powerful queen.
And that really sets the stage for the empire's peak. So Chandragupta I laid the foundation, but it was his successors, Samudragupta and Chandragupta II, who'd build it into a true golden age. That is, before later rulers like Skandagupta had to fight just to keep it from collapsing.
So this brings us to the absolute high point of Gupta power, a period defined by two truly extraordinary emperors who were masters of both the battlefield and the arts.
The first of these titans was Samudragupta, and he earned this epic nickname, the Napoleon of India. And you know what? It was a title he absolutely deserved. His military genius was legendary, and he used it to dramatically expand the empire's borders.
I mean, the sheer scale of his ambition was literally carved in stone for all time. His court poet, Harasena, inscribed his achievements on a pillar, telling everyone how Samudragupta defeated kings all across India and even subdued powerful rivals like the Shakas and the Kushans. And to top it all off, he performed the Ashwamedha, a grand horse sacrifice ceremony, basically to declare to the world that he was the undisputed sovereign.
But here's the fascinating thing about Samudragupta. He wasn't just a warrior. He was also known as Kavira Raja, or the king of poets. He was a skilled musician and a really passionate patron of the arts. Some of his coins just illustrate this duality so beautifully, showing him not with a sword, but holding a veena, a classical Indian stringed instrument. After Samudragupta comes one of the most compelling stories in the whole dynasty. So according to the play Devi Chandraguptam, Samudragupta's successor actually surrendered his wife to a rival king. In this incredibly daring move, his younger brother, Chandragupta, disguised himself, infiltrated the enemy camp, killed the king, and rescued the queen. That hero was Chandragupta II.
And this new emperor, Chandragupta II, who also went by Vikramaditya, brought the empire to its absolute zenith. He was a master of both diplomacy, securing key alliances through strategic marriages, and warfare. He's the one who finally defeated the rival Shakas in western India, a massive victory that gave the Guptas control over vital trade routes. To mark this, he established a second capital at Ujjain, which quickly became this glittering hub of commerce and culture. It was so prosperous, in fact, that it was noted by the visiting Chinese traveler, Fahia.
This cultural peak is probably best seen in his court at Ujjain, which was famously home to the Navaratnas, or the 9 gems, basically the greatest minds of the era. I mean, think of it like a dream team of ancient intellect. You had the legendary playwright Kalidas, the brilliant astronomer Vara Mihira, the pioneering physician Dhanvantri, and the great lexicographer Amarasimha. It was a true powerhouse of creativity.
But as we all know, no golden age lasts forever. After the glorious reigns of Samudragupta and Chandragupta II, the empire began to face a series of challenges that would, unfortunately, lead to its decline and eventual disintegration. Even as the empire started facing these new threats, it still continued to produce wonders. The ruler Kumaragupta founded the legendary Nalanda University, which became a beacon of learning for centuries. But while one part of the empire was building for the future, another was gearing up for war. It fell to Kumaragupta's son, Skandagupta, to face the full force of a brand new enemy, the Huns.
The empire's fall wasn't caused by just one single thing. It was more like a cascade of failures. First, you had these relentless Hun invasions from Central Asia that just completely drained the imperial treasury and military strength. Second, as that central power weakened, powerful local governors started to break away and declare their independence. And third, losing Western India meant losing control over those rich trade routes, which triggered a really severe economic decline.
But despite its fall, the Gupta Empire left this indelible mark on India and really the world. To understand why it's still considered a golden age, we need to look at the very structure of their society. How they governed, how they traded, and how they lived.
Their power was really built on a foundation of super-organized administration. The huge empire was divided into provinces, called bhuktis, and those were then subdivided into districts called vishayas. This wasn't just bureaucracy for the sake of it, it was the essential framework that let them effectively rule a massive and diverse population.
Their economic engine was also remarkably sophisticated. A lot of it was powered by the shreni, or guilds. And these weren't just trade unions. They were powerful associations of merchants and artisans that set their own laws, guaranteed the quality of goods, and even acted like modern banks, financing the very trade that made the empire so rich.
And their land system also tells you a lot about their core values. The Agrahara grant, for example, gave tax-free land to Brahmins, the priestly class. This practice really highlights the deep importance of religious patronage and the rigid social hierarchy that defined Gupta society. So let's circle back and answer our original question. What defined this golden age? It was the unparalleled flourishing of culture, led by figures like Kalidas. It was the incredible advances in science and math. It was their highly organized administration. And it was their staggering economic prosperity, symbolized by the massive number of gold coins, called dinaras, that they minted.
Which leads us with a final thought. The Guptas built their golden age on a foundation of military conquest, political stability, and immense cultural and scientific creativity. It really makes you wonder, in our interconnected, modern world, what ingredients would be needed to create a new golden age today?